What's going on, guys? So this is a Graze, this is in 60 frames per second, and this is not quite Master Grade Monday. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so first and foremost, we're going to take a look at the box here on this Not Quite Master Grade Monday. And why is it a Not Quite Master Grade Monday? Well, because this is a 1 to 100 no grade version of the Graze from IBO. And you guys should know by now, I love me some Grazes. And it's the first foray into doing some 1 to 100 kits from IBO. And so yeah, we got the Graze standard commander type. Yay for that. Of course, great artwork right here from the first, maybe even second or third episode here. You got the IBO banner we're used to seeing right there. You've got Ein down here, and you've got Krankney right there, Bandai logo, and you've got Bandai 2015, made in Japan. Now, if we come down to this side, you get obligatory front and rear shot, and well, we've seen a Graze before, but never in this size. Looks pretty cool. Come right there, and basically I think it's saying that, well, you get a full inner frame like so, and you can stick armor on there, and hey, you got a nice sketch drawing there, and oh, hey, customize your 1 to 100 Barbatos. You got extra parts in the kit, yay for that. Come around this side, and you got Graze standard type as usual, 1 to 100, no grade, pretty much 02 right there, and you got BandaiHobby.net. And you come to this side and you got action. Yep. So you got the 100 Graze, you got him shooting the gun like so, and hey, you can do a thing. Oh, I was wondering what that was for. Okay. And you've got backpack doing backpack things. You got heads doing head things, and whoa, that's a freaky looking mouth. Anybody else wonder if that's similar to Beetlejuice? Remember the scene if you if you can. And then you've got him looking like he's about to chop somebody in half, and ooh, we got hands. Ooh, we got whatever that is. And we got a read up right there on stuff, and you got Lieutenant Crank right there. And you've got a warning right here. Don't stick a big old Graze in your 3-year-old's face because it'll hurt more than the 144 scale. Yay. There we go. Toilet right there. And you've got 3,000 yen there. Nice affordable kit. And illustration by Yuta Otani. Planeta. So yay. 1 to 100 Graze. Still upside down. And there's no build montage for this one because I just knocked it out pretty quickly. So let's just go ahead and get right to the review. Here we have the Graze, all done and awesome, and very, very green. That's the one thing the Graze is, at least in its base form, super green. And of course we have him out here with all of his accessories. But before we take a look at these, I want to take a look at some more stuff, just right quick. We saw this in the unboxing. So you do actually get parts for the 1 to 100 Barbatos to give it its kind of first go around arm. So you've got these other arm bits, and you got the back of the bicep kind of part, or I guess tricep technically. Oop, the gun fell over. It does that. And you also get the little arm shield. Come on, focus. There we go. So you get the little arm shield as well in this little bit. So that's for your little Barbatos regular version, which I don't have, so it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, so with this guy, you do get the appropriate Graze rifle / machine gun, done up all in this nice gray. Now the part that I didn't quite catch until I was just looking at it, you can make a snub nose version of it, and actually I don't think I have the runner anymore. I'll have to look. Nope, actually that runner does have it. So you would remove this part right here, which is actually clipped in on the inside, and then put the snub nose barrel on there. Now of course you get the removable removable magazines. Wow. Now, compared to the HG version, it's actually, well, virtually identical, except for the fact he does actually have the tabs on the handles. Now, you do use that with the closed hands. He currently has the open expressive hands on him. And unlike the HGs, you do actually get the slot in the hand for holding weapons. Actually, whoop, hello. I definitely appreciate that. So you just plug that in. And you guys have to remember, at this point, I've built like 8 HG Grazes. So this thing did not exactly put me through the ringer, but it does have the new engineering on the 1 to 100 scale, which did kind of, it didn't catch me off guard. It just, I couldn't put it together blind, I'll put it that way. I tried. I cannot put that, there we go. So he can totally hold the rifle in and of itself like so, and you get, of course, the extra swivel handle. Now it does go into the wrist as you would suspect, so you just pull off the very nice expressive hand. I actually do dig these. Looks pretty good. And you want to take this part off, plug the ball joint into the wrist as usual, and then plug this back in both under here and to the back of the wrist armor like so. I think that's both for securing and possibly for powering it a little bit. I don't know exactly, but all of them do that. So he can hold that very nicely. And I actually like the open muzzle there. That looks pretty cool. Now, as for his other weapon, you do get the quintessential Graze axe. If you weren't so sure that this was definitely this version, or this universe's version of the Zaku, here, of course, you have the axe and the machine gun, like you would get with any version of a Zaku. And he does have the big old peg on it to go onto the side skirt right there, just like the HG did. And I'm fairly well convinced, I'm going to have to look at footage, but I'm fairly well convinced that they actually do this. Like, it literally just plugs in like so. I really do like it. And he does have the tabs. Oops, get your legs straight. Does have the tabs on the handle, as we already discovered. And you can use that with this hand. Go figure. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Like so, and plug the hand in. Just like you would. And there you have a nice fully armed Graze. Looks pretty neat. Now, of course, you get some swappable slash customizable parts with this guy. If you get him to stand up perfectly, that'd be great. And you get the Commander helmet. Once again, if you weren't sure that this was this universe's Zaku, there's your little Commander horn. And the only thing you do here is the same thing you always do. Just come to the head, yoink it off, like so. Now you do have this big tab here, like so. It is kind of T-shaped, lines up to the T-shaped hole, and you just try to drop that right on top of that. And now you've got a Commander Graze. Yay for that. And since we're right here, we'll just go ahead and show off that hinge gimmick for the head, where the eyeball can come out like so, except it's completely shrouded in mystery. So there you got the Graze eyeball. It is mounted on a ball joint, so you can rotate it, and I used the sticker to see how bad it is, and while it didn't appear to be that bad at first, it really is. So in the future, definitely paint on those parts. You do have some very nice grooves to work with there. So let's close that up for the time being, and look at the last little customizable accessory, and it is the extra little pod arms for the thruster pack. So the way I have it set up, of course, is with the backpack or more spacefaring version of the backpack, and I just assumed that these were supposed to face downward. I didn't necessarily see that in the instructions. They are mounted on a ball joint in there instead of being plugged straight in like they were on the HG side, and you get some decent movability out of it. You also get the thrusters right there, it does pivot. Now, if you want to use these, it plugs in back here on the butt skirt. I had it kind of set upside down. It just plugs in right here on the butt skirt. And if you want to go for that more standard equipment look, which the I guess the ground types or even just the Mars types for hovering around use, you just pull this guy off of there. You just got that hole right there. Come on, focus. There you go. Plug that one on there. And do the same thing for the other side. And there you go. And it just swivels up and down, and they can pivot and do whatever they need to do. But this is basically how the normal Mars kind of variant works. It just looks really nice as such. I'm going to lower the light just a little bit more. And yeah, it's really, really good this way. Alright, so let's take a look at details and articulation on this guy. Now, one cool thing this thing has over the... Actually, it's got a lot of cool things over the HG version, other than the fact that I can't get the light anywhere important. Come on. There we go. You get actual yellow molded pieces for the reactor parts and the actual main camera spot right there. So that's actually an actual molded piece. I do dig that. And you guys can see I panel lined the whole thing in green panel line marker, although if I had thought about it at the time, I would have done it with brown, but it's all good. I really do dig it one way or the other. I think it does work. Now, I did do some custom paint details in here. Not a lot, but some. And it usually have to do with the pistons, and I love the fact that this guy really does have working pistons. I'm going to go ahead and pull this backpack off so you can see what's going on back here. And you've got some of my new gold marker there, along with chrome pen, or the chrome marker, and then some silver down here on the bottom side. And I love the fact that those pistons do work. It's a little stiff due to the paint, but they do actually function. I do like that. And I really do love this new gold marker. It's awesome. Also, this back part right here is a separate molded yellow piece that inserts. I do like that as well. Come on, straighten up your torso, buddy. Sometimes you forget, because you tend to have the Graze kind of squished down. It does have a very tall torso. I like the fact that these chest vein parts do rotate now. Oh, I gotta raise the camera back up. I lowered it for a minute. I forgot I'm working with a 1-to-100 here. So you got these parts, they do rotate, and I did paint just the ends of these with a normal Gundam gray, though it does come with stickers you can put there. You've got the power hoses kind of there, molded in white. That's actually very good. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of other work paint-wise, but if you come down here to the leg thrusters, it's very hard to see because I was not paying attention when I did it in the first place. The actual thruster inside is painted with gold. You can see it reflecting. And then the tip of it right there is silver with chrome inside the vernier itself. Did that on both of them. Seemingly pointlessly because I was not paying attention to the construction process. But I like the fact that this thing does layer things differently. So whereas on the HG, all of this is all kind of one piece for the most part. And then this back here is a whole separate piece that doesn't even move. All of these armor bits do plug on. Now, one problem I've said with this is sometimes the plastic, being an older kit, it is a little bit brittle and you leave some nasty nub marks behind. And these thigh skirt armor bits right here do have a little bit of trouble staying on. You have to adjust them every now and then. And I did actually separate these front skirts so they can operate independently, though pretty much isn't necessary because you can just rotate past it. But you know, it's actually almost exactly the same as the standard HG. Another thing that's very different is the way the head is mounted. Of course, not just a standard double ball joint. The shoulders are also very different. While you still get the really nice butterfly effect right there, instead of the entire section there moving as a polycap, it's now ball joint mounted specifically right here. So the shoulders can move independently here without the chest itself having to move. Now earlier I did state that the eyeball moves, though I have a heck of a time keeping the head all together. You can pivot the eyeball, but it is not easy. Also, every time I do that, I feel like the head is going to come loose. The ball... hello. Knocked the commander fin off. The actual ball joints that the head itself is connected to seems very, very weak. And the rest of the head... I'm having a hard time just getting this commander fin back in. The rest of the head back in there, I think, is going to need to be glued like together to really hold the whole thing in one piece. That's just probably me. Now, we already saw the torso in action, but it does pivot the same way the HG does. And then that also comes off in a similar manner to the HG. It does rotate. God dang it. Lots of things can probably be glued on, guys. Let's just be honest. It does rotate at the waist. It is a molded in ball joint instead of a polycap. I do dig that. Side skirts are ball joint mounted here instead of polycaps like the HG. The hips do something new, whereas this is all still almost identical. This part here is neat. You actually get a drop down section so you can really get the leg kicked back. I really do dig that. So it now pivots here, but you also still get the regular hip articulation, so you can kind of get a bigger swing out. Now you can't really do the splits on this guy because the way those hips work, so he can only do about to there. As we already saw, the thigh rotates all the way around, but why would you need that? Big, ridiculous, double jointed knee that we're used to with the Graze can fold up incredibly well. Fold it back. And then, actually, I was wrong. The Graze armor splits right here on the HG. That's right. Now you have, instead of a ball joint mount, you have a more of a swivel or hinge mount for that. The ankles are a ball joint down here, and then just a swivel at the top of the ankle, so that's very, very similar. Though something that is different is that all of this part, instead of being a double layer from the bottom up, these sandwich together from right to left. So these ankle armor right here are part of this, and they sandwich together. That's a pretty big difference. And then this part, I don't know where all the dust came from. This part right in here at the back of the heel does plug in from underneath. So it's a very big difference realistically. I did not go over the rest of the arm articulation because I kind of forgot. The shoulders do flip-flop exactly the same way they do on the HG version. You do get a very nice... Wow! Way too much of a high teacher there. So plug that big old ball joint back in, and he can do a huge high teacher. Very, very nice shoulder joint. Bicep rotation. Single jointed elbow. Yeah, just a single jointed elbow gets you over 90 degrees. I find it funny that they couldn't engineer a double jointed elbow out of that, but they still made it work. And of course the wrist does the same thing the wrist always does. So, all in all, I really do like this thing. I feel dumb that it took me this long to get to them, because the engineering is so much bigger and better than on the HG, which makes sense. It's a 1-to-100. They have to step their game up a little bit, but it's just good. I love the Graze. This version of the Graze is pretty cool, and of course this is the basic standard version, but we do have the Graze Kai and the Schwalbe Graze coming up soon. So yeah, that neck is really, really annoying. You see that it bobbleheads very much. Oh, one thing I will point out, and this is something you guys need to look out for yourself. Right here on the piston, that little connection bottom piece for the piston, right there. Make sure you have that facing the right way, or else it will not clip on. This one is not clipped on. It's just sort of sitting there. You can see it's a little bit loose, but because of the way it's currently attached, I can't pull it off and flip it around. So I'm just going to live with it like so, and I really do dig that. So yeah, guys, for final thoughts, I definitely recommend this kit. It's affordable, it's 1 to 100. The engineering is just as good, if not better, than the HG, which you guys know I totally love. And yeah, I look forward to building the rest of the line. Even in all green, it does look good. And I didn't point it out, but it did have some gold, silver, and chrome paint back here on the side of the thrusters. I took them off, so I wasn't paying attention. So, but guys, if you are new here and you like what I'm doing, make sure you hit that like button, a big thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button down below. We're growing really, really fast, guys. We're on our way to 1,700 subscribers already. Of course, if you guys are interested in the Patreon, it'll be right here on the screen, and you can join in and help support the channel the way that John, Andy, Steve, and Kolby do. And guys, I currently have t-shirts for sale. If you didn't see the announcement, the link is in the description down below. So if you want to get yourself a Keep On Nerding or a Keep On Building Shoki Reviews t-shirt, it'll be down there in the description. It's only going to be around for a short while for right now, guys. But if there's interest, they will come back. But that's it for this Not Quite Master Grade Monday with the awesome 1/100 Graze. I'll catch you guys on the next review. And of course, remember as always to keep on building.